just made myself tear up. During the little guitar solo, I said, "Oh, it reminds me of Eddie Van Halen," and I'm so sad. I'm not gonna cry. No, that was that. I was a sophomore, a freshman or sophomore. I can't remember. I'm going to look up and see what the year the album. Anybody know what year the album came out? Van Halen, which is the name of their very first album, came out. Whatever year that was, I remember being in Ron Johnson's bedroom. No funny remarks, but that's what you did with kids, right? You went in their bedrooms and you hung out and you played, air guitar, and you hung out and you played slow motion football and all kinds of stuff like that. And he goes, "Hey, I got this new album. You're gonna like it. It's a band called Van Halen, and they played it. Remember when they played it? What's his name's backyard in their garage?" And yeah, we go, "Oh yeah, that was that band that was playing in there." We really weren't paying attention, but it was Van Halen. And he put on the album. My life changed. And listen to Van Halen. Drive into the liquor store with my false ID. Just don't listen, son. Not then. Not when I was a sophomore, junior, or freshman. Sorry. My son heard me. I take it back. That's not what I did. Other people did it. I didn't do it. I heard of other people doing it. But man, what shocking news. Not shocking because I knew he had cancer. But just so many memories. Everything. Making out the park. Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen. What a guitarist. Probably the best guitarist on the planet. Rest his soul. All right. So, we need to be afraid. Finally, I agree with the news. I finally agree with the news. Donald Trump, he gets in a car with a bunch of Secret Service guys, puts their lives in danger. And then he gets in a helicopter with a pilot and probably some other people, flies to the White House. He's COVID-19. He gets to the White House, and what does he do? He takes his mask off. We finally need to be afraid. We're going to talk about this right after my sponsors. So let's talk about the happycoffee.com. Happycoffee.com is one of the greatest coffees on the planet because it makes you happy. They also have lemonade, and why am I yelling already? I haven't even got started. Georgia peach tea. We got lemonade. We got the new Elevate Max. It gives you energy, makes you happy. Although I did get a little upset yesterday at one of my children, and I think I just had a long day. Everything with Trump taking off his mask and putting Secret Service guys in danger a couple nights before. I think I just had it. The happy coffee couldn't even be past all the stuff that was going on the internet. But get some happy coffee. I've had so many people getting happy. I'm thankful to the people that at least got the trail packages. I had somebody come by my house today, and I got some samples. I got somebody that came by and got my next great product, which is today's CBD, which is from Viseo, one of the top 50 healthcare companies in the world. It's got liposome technology. It's patented. I had somebody come by and pick up some CBD today and some CBD cream to put on those aches and pains. It's fantastic, CBD oil. And then today's Viseo.com, which I'm wearing for both the same company, but they have two different websites. This is for all the other wellness products. This product right here, which makes me look a heck of a lot younger than I already look. It's guaranteed to, not guaranteed, it's scientifically proven to turn back the hands of time. All right. So yes. So if we're not gonna be afraid at this time, then there's nothing we should be afraid of. And quite frankly, it's not because of Donald Trump. It's not because the greatest things that he has done in so many areas. Just so many areas. They have found every way to turn everything around. There's nothing. If he would have stayed in the hospital and cowered in his bed with the sheets up near his nose, looking like Joe Biden, right, with a little thing. If he would have done that, they would have said, "Oh, how horrible. Why isn't he out on his balcony standing there and telling us not to be afraid? There he is in his bed acting afraid." That's what they would have said. They said he's so afraid he won't come out. What happened when what happened? There was something that happened outside. I think somebody was breaching one of the fences or something like that, or the crowd came and they took him down below, where that's a natural protocol that the Secret Service does when you have people that are getting to a place where it looks like they may breach some aspect of the White House. And it's protocol. You grab the president, you say, let's get downstairs until we get this thing calmed down. And what do they say? Oh, he's hiding in the bunker. He's so afraid, right? You can't tell me that they wouldn't have turned around no matter which way he goes. If he would have stayed in the hospital, it was the most horrible thing he could have done. He comes out of the hospital, that's the most horrible thing he could have done. He gets home, he takes his mask off. The first thing I do when I leave a building is I take my mask off. Right? I mean, I actually don't even get out the threshold. It's like I'm getting close. I can see the light of the door of the gym or the light of the door of the supermarket, wherever I'm at. And as I got four, just because I want to be rebellious, and I got 3 more steps, and I'm already peeling the mask off. I just thought it was so great. He gets out of the helicopter, walks up the stairs, he turns around, and you can almost hear the mask go. You know, and they just would have had the sound effects. I wish they would have had sound effects and then he just would have tossed the mask and said, I'm home. I'm at the White House, and you're not, Hillary. You're not at the White House, Hillary. Just live with it. And there I am. And just like, and like Cuomo said, with his hair blowing in the wind. Cuomo, what an idiot. What a moron. You know, this guy gets caught without his mask on, and now the president's the most horrible person. He's killing people. He's killing people inside the White House. And yet Cuomo's out riding his bike and walking his little, I don't even know what kind of dog. It has to be one of those little shitty crap, little tiny dogs. Wow, I went all over the place. Little tiny little dogs, right? He can't. There's no way that Cuomo could have a manly dog. There's no way. It's impossible. And so, no, we don't need to be afraid because of anything. We should be proud. We should be proud that we have a leader who says, it's killed a few people, 200,000 people, mostly killed by Andrew Cuomo. Most of them, most of that blood is on his hands. We also know that 30% of the people that died did not die of COVID-19. They died of something else, but they had COVID-19. And probably COVID-19 had nothing to do with their deaths. We've heard that. The science is telling us that, right? They talk about the science. The science is telling us that 30% of the people that are believed to have died on the certificates where it says COVID-19 did not die of the COVID-19, right? You have scientists who say the masks don't work. You have science. Listen, this is all hogwash, and you guys are all those of you that are Democrats, right? Not Americans like us, but the Democrats in the media are blowing all this other crap out of proportion. You have Secret Service who are riding with him all the time. How do you think he got to the hospital? How do you think the helicopter flew itself? We don't have that right now. We don't have a Tesla helicopter that the president could have got into without a driver, right? Without a co-pilot and without Secret Service being around him. That's how he got to the freaking hospital. That's how he got from the helicopter to wherever he needed to be, right? And now he can't go. What? Oh, he was doing Uber Eats with the pizza. He had to do something. You got to be kidding me. It's so crazy. But I'm going to tell you what we need to be afraid of. What we need to be afraid of is that we have evidence. Right? We've had evidence for a very long period of time, but we have even more evidence now. And we've had evidence leading up. I even shared a letter to the Secret Service, or not from. Hold on, I got to look at my own stuff here. Criminal intelligence, right? Director. This letter right here that came out, and I can't see it now. Director of National Intelligence. The Director of National Intelligence. This letter came out just the other day, right? September 29th. First paragraph says, in late July 2016, U.S. intelligence agencies obtained insight into Russian intelligence analysis alleging that U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton had approved a campaign plan to stir up a scandal against U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump by tying him to Putin and the Russians hacking of the Democratic National Committee. The IC does not know the accuracy of this allegation, but now we do, or the extent to which the Russian intelligence analysis may reflect exaggeration or fabrication. Right? And then we got the second paragraph. Second paragraph says, according to his handwritten notes, former Central Intelligence Agent Director Brennan subsequently briefed President Obama. So he told Obama and other senior national security officials on the intelligence, including the alleged approval by Hillary Clinton on July 26, 2016, of a proposal from one of her foreign policy advisors to vilify Donald Trump by stirring up a scandal, claiming interference. Not that there was interference, but claiming interference by Russian security services. And let's go to the third paragraph. On 7 September 2016, U.S. intelligence officials forwarded an investigation referral to FBI Director James Comey, who just testified the other day and said he didn't remember squat, and Deputy Assistant Director Counterintelligence Peter Strzok regarding U.S. presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's approval of a plan concerning U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Russian hackers hampering U.S. election as a means of distracting the public from her use of private mail server. So that's what came out the other day. And now we have a whole number of tweets and information coming out that's just pouring out like a fire hose. And yet, and I just want to point this is why we need to be afraid, is that we have a huge portion of our country, including the media, who do not care. That this is nothing that they're reporting on. They are completely ignoring the most treasonous, evil plan by Hillary Clinton and Obama and Biden and the Central Intelligence Agency and the FBI to claim the president was a Russian spy. Right? I'm simplifying everything by not trying to go too far, but all of these people in our government did everything they could to first try to not allow him to be elected, which isn't that incredible, right? You have one guy who goes against the Clinton powerhouse, right? And all the money, George Soros included in that mix. You have Obama, you have Biden, you have the CIA, you have the FBI, you have the DEA, I'm guessing. I don't even know who else was in there, the DOJ, all involved in trying to keep this guy from becoming president. And yet he still becomes president. I mean, you look at it on two sides, right? Like, wow, like you got this guy, this businessman against all odds to begin with. On top of it all, with all these people working against them, the largest and most prestigious law enforcement agencies between the FBI and the CIA and the DOJ working against him, and yet he still gets elected president. I mean, you got to look at that and say, this guy deserves another 4 years, right? You gotta say to yourself, wow. How did he do it? He's incredible. I'm not saying I'm close to saying that he's something more than man, and that would be claiming that he's a god. And of course, I can't do that. But it is pretty incredible. It is pretty incredible that you have all that working against you, and yet you're still sworn in as president of the United States. But the thing we need to be afraid of is that nobody cares. that nobody cares. Nobody cares that the president of the United States, President Obama, and his vice president, and the former Secretary of State, and former First Lady concocted a plan to claim that Donald Trump, a nominee for the presidency and then president of the United States, they concocted a plan to tie him to the Russians and spew throughout the media, and the media obeyed and continued to try to push this lie that he was some type of Russian spy, which still goes on today. They still are saying today. I think Bernie probably said it the other day. I'm sure he did. If Bernie ever speaks, he says that President Trump and Putin are best friends. You had a senator say, "Oh, now that he's got COVID-19, that now Putin's going to be running the country." Did you not hear that? A senator still, to this day, has completely ignored all this going on and still trying to say that somehow Donald Trump is tied to Putin, ignoring the facts, ignoring everything that's coming out to this day. Let me look at it. We had a lot of comments that came in like they just flew in there. Hold on one second. When is Kelly going to start co-hosting with you? He's a natural in front of the camera. You should see what we did today. We did some filming today. It's his plan. What he did today was so funny. I cannot wait until he edits the video and puts it all together. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. I can't wait to share it with all of you. Come on. They got to see it, dude. It is so good. I'm telling you, it is going to be so good. That is so. titled debut album was released in 1978. So I was, I graduated in 80. So junior, I would be 79. So I was sophomore. I was pretty close. So freshman, sophomore. So sophomore year is when that. So of course I didn't have a false ID then. That came way later when I was almost 21. Did you see that DOJ is holding a news conference tomorrow? No, I did not see that. On a matter of high and national security. It's at 11. Oh, I cannot wait. But, you know, the media won't cover it. The only people that will cover it may be Fox. I'm not happy with Fox right now either. Fox has really pissed me off with Chris Wallace and a bunch of other shenanigans going on with it. I don't even know. Right? Only thing we can just trust each other. Nobody cares. That we need to be afraid that nobody cares. We need to be afraid. And I'm not afraid of anything for the most part. I'm afraid of my kids getting sick. I'm afraid of them getting hurt and injured, that kind of stuff. But I'm not afraid of almost anything. But I am afraid that that nobody cares. This is really odd. You have a president. Again, I'm going to need to repeat this. President of the United States, former Secretary of State and First Lady, and the Vice President of the United States, DOJ and FBI, concocting a plan to create a story so that they could bring down the incoming President of the United States. Why is this not? Why does nobody care? Why is nobody going to jail? This really is one of the craziest things. Yes, Twitter is on fire. I'm looking. I'm going to actually bring up a couple Twitter things right now. You must have a lot of cinema type production people around. Yeah. Oh, Donald Trump. Oh, I'm so sorry. Donald J. Trump. I was thinking you misspelled DOJ, but I got you now. Yes, he's so good. He is so good. I love that it really just. Hi, Rebecca. Nice to see you. Glad to catch you. Glad to catch you live too. I'm glad you're here. Did you see Chris Cuomo coming? Yes. Oh, that was my favorite part. I love it when he becomes unhinged because he's such. When you talk about a hypocrite, now that's an overused word, right? People use hypocrite all the time, but he's like he's the hypocrite of all hypocrites. He gets caught walking around with this little tiny peewee dog. I'm sure. Again, it has to be like a little sickly little dog, he doesn't have a mask on and somebody calls him out on it and he gets all offended. Like, what do you know about COVID-19? What do you know about regulations? Right? He throws a big fit without his mask on. And yet the president is actually in his home. The White House is his home. He walks into his house onto the balcony and takes off his mask. I take off my mask the moment I leave the entrance of the door. Sometimes I'm not even out the entrance. I'm still walking out the entrance and but I just wish there would have been a sound effect last night when he pulled out that mask as he was up there on the balcony. It would have been like the sound of a cape, right? The cape of Superman makes when it hits the wind, right? That would have been so great if he took off the mask. That would have been awesome. I would have loved it. I would have cried. I cry a lot lately. I don't know what's going on with me. I am convinced that the majority of people in this country haven't done any critical thinking. April, you are so correct. Critical thinking is completely gone. I have so many friends, and maybe former friends, based on a couple of comments I've seen lately. I'm going to ghost you because you're not very nice. What? Because I tell you facts? Because I say people are morons that are actually morons? Chris Cuomo is a moron. There's no doubt about it. All the people with their hair on fire about the Secret Service in the car, about the helicopter ride, and then him taking off the mask. They're morons. They've lost their mind. They hair on fire. You would never want to go to battle with them, right? You would never want to be in a situation where you needed help, because I've worked with a couple, not very many, but I worked with a couple cops that you did not want them on a call with you, because you knew that they weren't going to be there, that they were going to flee. I can see two of them in my head right now, that when you went on a call, and this is how you really tell somebody that they are worthless, is that when you arrive, as you're arriving and you hear who the other person is who's going to be on a call with you, is you ask for an additional unit. And you do it consistently. And pretty soon they realize, they don't trust me. And that's the way it is. Right? There are people that you cannot trust on a call, because if the crap hits the fan, the poop hits the fan, then you can't count on the person that's with you. They're going to back up. They're going to go away. They're going to hide behind you. And that's not who you want. You want somebody to fight with you. And of course, none of these people you would ever want to go into battle with. Nobody would you ever want to go to, in Yorba Linda to a BLM Antifa riot and have them on your side, because they would actually change sides. They'd be so scared. They wouldn't know what to do. All right. Critical thinking. Sorry about that. Hillary needs to go down. Absolutely enough is enough. Enough was enough when she was Secretary of State. Benghazi was enough. She should have gone down for that. Satan sure does have a tight grip on many of these days. So many fighting a battle of the flesh when it is really a spiritual battle, dark against light, good versus evil. Absolutely, April. I wish I would have said that without reading it. God bless President Trump. So glad he's on the road. Absolutely. They're so pissed, right? They're so upset. Sorry, son. They're so upset that he didn't die, right? They're so upset that he got well so fast. And what is it? I got it right here. So, I mean, right now it's probably less, but at last count, 70-year-old and older, you have a 94.6% of survival. That is huge, right? You would die. You would have a less percentage if you're that age for the regular flu, right? And again, I'm thinking that it's much less now, especially now that Trump is out. And what is he? 74 years old, something like that. I forget how old he is. 74, I think. Yep. And then you have some other people that are up there in age who are now not dying of COVID-19. Why? Because President Trump has done such a great job with his team of coming up with prophylactics, things that will help you, and great treatments to keep you from getting sicker from COVID-19. So I'm sure that number is going higher, right? The number higher, the percentage of people surviving is going up. And so this 94.6, I would guess, I'm not a scientist, I don't know for sure, but I would guess that it's going up with all the prophylactics and things. But then you go to 50 to 69, you got a 99.5%. Nobody's dying of this thing. And yet he's in a car with Secret Service guys that are in their 30s that work out every day. And you're going to tell me that at a 99.5% survival rate, that your hair is on fire, that you're putting people in danger? Are you kidding me? Then you go to 20 to 49-year-olds, you got a 99.98% of survival. Who's dying anymore across the United States of this disease? And then 0 to 19. 0 to 19, 99.997% chance of survival. Nobody's dying. No children dying. Nobody in California kids in school have died from COVID-19. Oh, that was the last one. Sorry. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen here really quick. I just got to share a couple of these things. First of all, let me share this. This is actually pretty cool. You got the governor of Puerto Rico is endorsing Trump. Is that not hysterical? And of course, people are their hair on fire about this on the Twitter sphere. On Twitter, sorry about that. I left it kind of in a place that doesn't tell the story. So Puerto Rico governor endorses Trump. People on Twitter are going crazy because they're saying, how is that possible? Donald Trump hates Puerto Rico. No, he hated the corruption in Puerto Rico. And that's where people get the story so wrong. And they love to just turn it around and say, Donald Trump doesn't like Puerto Rico. He's letting people die in Puerto Rico. No, he knows that there's corruption in Puerto Rico. It's like what I tell you when I say that Iran is one of our worst enemies. Right? That they are one of the most dangerous countries, along with China and a couple other countries, North Korea probably. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the people of Iran. Right? The people of Iran, and I think for the most part, a very large portion, love the United States of America. It is the leadership of Iran that is dangerous. It is the military of Iran, the military leaders of Iran, the mullahs and those types of people. They're the ones who are the most, those are the ones that we need to be afraid of as far as a country's concerned, and have to always keep our one eye on them all the time and wonder what they're doing, right? The people of Iran love the United States of America, much of them, at least that's what I hear. You're right, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that a large number of Iranians, because you can see them often protesting. If there's an American flag painted on the ground, they walk around it. They won't walk on it, right? Not like Americans in Portland or Americans in Seattle, right? They'll trample over it. They'll light it. They'll put lighter fluid on the ground, and they'll actually take an American flag and try to light the American flag to light the lighter fluid that's on the flag that's painted on the ground, and then stomp on it. But in Iran, you paint an American flag on the ground, and they walk around it. They have great respect for the United States of America, the people of Iran. but it is the mullahs, the leaders, the military leaders that hate our guts. Sorry, I'm choking because I'm yelling so much. I'm so excited. But then you look at Puerto Rico, and that story some time ago that Trump hated Puerto Rico and was keeping them from getting supplies for survival, that kind of stuff. There was so much corruption. So much corruption in Puerto Rico. People taking money, and much like Democrats, right? Democrats don't take any of the money that BLM or Antifa raises and uses it for the black community, right? They steal it for themselves. So you have very much like the Democratic Party running Puerto Rico, right? You got the leadership. And I always hesitate because I want to call them something else, because they're not leaders when they're stealing from their people and killing their people and allowing their people to be killed by defunding police. That's not leadership, right? That is tyranny. That is Marxism. That is a whole bunch of other names, but it is not leadership. So I often want to use other names, but you have the leadership in Puerto Rico. You have the leadership in these other countries that are taking the money and not using it for the people. That is what Donald Trump is about. That's what he's talking about when he talks about Portland and Seattle and Minneapolis and Baltimore and New York. Is he's not talking about the people in those states, not the community. He's talking about the people that are supposedly in charge that are morons and idiots and need to be arrested. That's what he's talking about. They just care about themselves. They talk about how Donald Trump is racist, and yet they do nothing for their black community, their Mexican community, anybody that's in the communities that are hurting, right? They don't care. That is not why they're in the positions they're in. They're not in the position to help people, right? They're in the position so that they can have more power, they're more corrupt, and they're living in multi-million-dollar mansions, gated communities with security, so they don't care whether they dismantle or defund the police. They don't care. They don't care that people are crapping in the streets in San Francisco. They don't care that there's homeless, more homeless now, 300% higher homeless rate in Los Angeles. They don't care. Nancy Pelosi doesn't care that the homeless rate has gone up in her area that she's responsible for. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about the stimulus plan. And we know she doesn't care about the stimulus. They've given her all the stimulus, different kinds of stimulus, and given her more money and given her more options, but yet she does not care. There's nothing you could give Nancy Pelosi for that stimulus package that she would say okay to. Nothing. Even if you agreed to give the money to the illegal aliens, even if you agreed to give them the money, she would find another reason not to have them sign it. She is an evil, devilish, demonic human being. She does not care. She does not care whether you wear a mask either. She will tell you she cares, but she really doesn't care. All right. Oh my gosh. I've not gotten to Twitter yet. Hold on. I need to get to Twitter because there's a couple of these. There's so many that I want to share with you, but I just want to hit a couple of them that I find very entertaining and odd that nobody seems to care. So I'm going to bring this one up here. Hopefully it will load. Here we go. So this is one of my favorites right here. So the breaking, this is from Paul Sherry. This is a retweet from Donald Trump. And it says, House investigators have now joined the Senate in requesting the FBI open a criminal investigation into possible foreign influence, peddling, and embezzlement involving Joe Biden and his younger brother and son based on suspicious financial activities flagged by U.S. Treasury. Is that not ripe, right? Has anybody asked Joe Biden a question about anything? Right? We know that. All of you know that have been watching know that he's not asked any questions. Right? They're asked, what kind of ice cream do you like? How do you feel about being bullied by Donald Trump? How do you feel about the temperature outside? How do you fare? Wait, what other answers do you have on your paper, Joe? We want to make sure to ask you only the questions that you have the answers written down. We don't want to trick you. We don't want to trick you by asking you a question that you don't have something written and prepared, right? So they won't ask anything. They've not asked him about Hunter. They've not asked him about China. They've not asked him about packing the Supreme Court. They've not asked him about fracking to confirm. Are you for or against? Because 10 times you said you were against it, and one time you said you were for it and okay with it. Which one is it? Have we ever had anybody elected as president of the United States where you have no idea where they stand on anything? Whatever audience he's in front of, he tells them what they want to hear. But we really don't know. Have we ever had a president like Donald Trump that we know everything that he stands for, everything that he wants. Do I agree with everything? No. But we know everything. There's not one thing that we don't know that he has in his plans, right? Keeping the borders closed, reforming our immigration process, making sure that our military is strong, getting out of endless wars, trying to get a stimulus package. He's tried every way of doing it that within his power. He's for funding law enforcement. He's for putting down these rioters in these democratic cities where apparently the governors and mayors don't care. Right? We can go on. He's done more for black communities than other president, especially Obama, and since Abraham Lincoln, he's done more with policies that benefit the black community. So we know all of those things. Right? There's nothing we don't know. If you were to ask me a question about it, I probably could tell you, because I know what our president is running, what he's done, what he's doing now, and what he's planning on doing on the future. For the most part, I know just about all of that stuff. I'd have to look some of it up on my notes. I take a lot of notes. So I have a lot of notes where I can look at most of that stuff. With Biden, I even watched a speech today. It was one of the most miserable speeches I've ever heard, because none of it makes any sense. Like, you're talking about all the stuff that you think that should be done, but you've had opportunity to do it. Why have you never done it? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Or he says the things that he wants to do that Donald Trump has already done. So he's plagiarizing what President Trump has already done to make it sound like there's something that he wants to do. Right. And then again, as usual, he contradicts himself. And then also he was giving us a history lesson. So I don't want to hear a history lesson. I want to finally hear what you have planned to do. So I am no more, based on listening to his speech today, I'm no more clued in as to what Biden is running on. I don't know what his plan. He has no plan. He talks about, well, we're going to make sure that this COVID-19 goes away. Well, that sounds great. Do you know something? Do you know? Have you been hiding something from the president? Have you been hiding something from Vice President Pence and the team that's put together? If you know something, why haven't you shared it with them? If you have some super secret plan, what is that plan? Because that would have been helpful if you had the super secret plan. They don't have a plan. They've never had a plan. If they had a plan, then they would have said, "Hey, why don't you do this instead? Why don't you do blah, blah, blah," whatever that is. They've never done that. That has never been done. And so, hey, Freddie, nice to see you. I appreciate that. Nice to see you again, too. I appreciate that very much. Chris Cuomo is such an idiot. He had COVID and was outside without a mask. I know, but no, it's different when Donald Trump has COVID and is outside with a mask in his home, not in a park walking his dog, by the way. Absolutely right. PR is bottles of water from their people during hurricane. PR, I'm not sure what that means. I'm sure that it's really important, but I'm not sure what that means. I'm so sorry. NJ1 Spartan from Twitter. Corruption. Yes, absolutely. Just tons of corruption there in Puerto Rico. I didn't say he hated people. Yeah, he never did. But they like to say that he did. And you're right. Yes, because Iranians love freedom. They do love freedom. They want freedom. They love Americans. So just what you said, Spartan says it again. Thank you for joining, Spartan. I appreciate you joining in. I believe the Democrats set up Trump to get COVID by the 11 people that had COVID setting up for the debate. Yeah, there's some video, and I've had some friends, Amy included, sent me a video of this very strange man going there with a rag and rubbing down the podium of President Trump, but not the podium of Biden. And then he walks off and goes backstage. Right? They had that little video cam that was on prior to the debate. What was that all about? What was on that rag? Who is that man? Does anybody know who he is? Did he cough into the rag? Does he have COVID-19? Did he cough in the rag and then wipe it onto the thing? It's possible. I mean, I used to be one of those people that said, and I'm really not into conspiracy things, and I'm not, into UFOs very much. And, there could be a UFO. I don't know. There could be some Martians. There could be all this kind of stuff. There could be, what is that place in the desert there next to where I get my beef jerky? Alien beef jerky. Area 51. I think it's Area 51, right?
Area 57.
Yeah, one of those places. I was always like, it sounds like fun. Sasquatch, all those types of things. But now I'm a changed person because look at all this stuff that's coming out. Look at all that. I mean, you cannot believe it, right? It's almost unbelievable that Hillary Clinton said let's see. She's sitting there rocking back and forth, and she got her black cat on her on her lap, and she's rubbing the wart on her chin probably, and she's thinking, what can I do? What can I do to distract everybody from my emails that I deleted and got? What can I do? And she goes, I know. I will say that Donald Trump is a spy and has colluded with the Russians. I'm a genius. And you see her hair. Like, you can see it now. Like, this is the craziest thing. You got this horrific woman develops this plan and nobody cares. We need to be afraid. This is scary. For the first time, I'm a little scared that this has been allowed to happen and nobody's done anything about it. And so many people know. Obama knows. Biden knows. Brennan knows. Strzok knows. His girlfriend that Donald Trump, said, oh, the little kissy, whatever, the little texties back and forth. Like, there's so many people that knew. Usually in a crime, which has probably finally happened, but it usually doesn't take 3.5 years or however long this has been, 4 years. Usually it doesn't take this long for things to come out with so much information because people just like, oh, I want to write a book. It is so strange that everybody's written a book about Donald Trump that, that he likes, that he, didn't give his niece money because she was a little whiny little bitch, right? Right. And so she writes a book like, well, I didn't get it, he's an idiot. He's a moron. Like, okay, get in line. There's a lot of people that think he's a moron. There's a lot of people that think he's fantastic. There's a lot of people that think he's doing a great job. There's a lot of people that think that he's not the same guy that he was before he became president, or maybe 10 years before he became president. Whatever he is, whoever he is now, he's a fantastic leader. He's a fantastic president, and maybe one of the best presidents we've ever had in our history, regardless if he gets voted back in again or not. There are so many people that have just lost their ever-loving minds. And what they don't realize, and I'm going to end on this probably. I've been going on for about 40 minutes here, but I'm going to end on it. And something else will probably come up, and I'll probably go on for another 30 minutes. But what many people that hate Donald Trump so badly, what my biggest issue is with those people is that the reason they hate him is because what they've been told, which is now coming out to be a lie, and now they are so stuck that they've tried to convince everybody that, well, CNN and MSDNC say that he's a Russian spy. Right? I can't tell you how many people have used that lie to try to convince me that I am somehow a racist, horrible person because I'm following a guy who was a Russian spy, right? Or had children in cages, which again was the Obama administration, right? We were told the lie that he ordered children put in cages, like crates, like dog crates. But which is a lie, and then they were showing pictures, which were not pictures from the time that Donald Trump was president. Those pictures were when Obama was president, right? And so you have these things that people have hung on to, and again, and then more recently was about the military, right, where they said that anybody that went to war is a moron or stupid or whatever he said, whatever it was they claimed that he said, which he never said, right? So you have these series of lies. And you have a large number of people who have been hanging on to those lies, and now they feel, I don't know what they feel. I feel like they don't want to feel like they were duped, right? By finally admitting and going, you know what, you were right. It somehow lessens them as a person. And so now they are so stuck that they've been following these lies that they've been told that they can't do it. They can't now say, well, I'm going to vote for Trump, because for 3 years they've been saying that he is a Russian spy, that he put children in cages, that he hates the military, that he, did things prior to him being married, and that he's on his third or fourth wife. I don't even know how many wives he's on, and said all these horrible things, right? And his tweets are horrible. That now, because of all of that, which almost 90% of it is a lie. I mean, the most horrible things are lies. Remember what I said? I don't have my book here of how do you kill 11 million people? You lie to them and you make it big and you just keep repeating it until people believe it. That's in that book, right? That's how you kill 11 million people, is you lie to them. You make the lie big and then you keep telling it until they believe it. And that is basically what has happened. So you have these large number of people in our country who are stuck in the lie and they don't know how to get out. And they're so stuck in the lie that they now believe it to be true, no matter what you tell them. And you say, look at Brennan is saying that he briefed Obama, that Hillary Clinton made the whole thing up, that he told Obama personally in a letter, handwritten notes, that he told Obama that Hillary made up everything that had to do with the Russian collusion in regard to Trump, that she made the whole thing up and used Russians. She colluded with the Russians to create the story. So the collusion was not with the Russians without Trump. Collusion was Hillary. And of course, so more. They spent $35 million investigating this whole thing. They used not thousands, hundreds of investigators, right, to look into this whole thing. And all of them knew that it was a lie. And yet nobody said anything. And so I just want to bring this back around. So we have all these voters and you have the media who are just simply stuck. And they're not, and they want to now elect a man who is known plagiarist, who is a known racist for sure, 100% by his words, that is creepy because we have video of him touching children and women in a really odd way, telling stories about black children like to rub his legs and watch the hairs on his legs stand up, which is really odd. Who tells that story? Who? But only somebody that's creepy. Right. And then you have a guy who can't finish a sentence and he can't be questioned. And you have a vice president who can't be questioned. She's not taking any questions either. And so they want you to vote for this person that you have no idea what his platform is, what he is, if he's socialist, if he's far left, if he's for the Green New Deal or against the Green New Deal. Like, we have no idea. So you have a large number of people going to vote for that, whatever that is, because they've been told a story that is completely untrue about a man who's doing some incredible things for our country. This is really an odd time. And so that's why we need to be afraid. We don't need to be afraid because of anything in regard to Donald Trump getting COVID-19. As a matter of fact, we need to be hailing the medical team who a guy who's in his 70s, supposedly obese, right? In his 70s, who was supposed to die based on everything you're being told, and he survived. They're angry because he survived. They're angry because he became well so fast. They're angry because he's not still in the hospital on IVs so that they can take pictures with IVs and a mask on and him with his hair all jacked up, right? That's what they want. But they're pissed because that's not what they got. They got a healthy President Trump who's like Iron Man Trump. I love my shirt that I have. It's called Iron Trump, right? And that is him. And they hate so badly that he survived the COVID-19, which is supposed to be killing everybody. Do not go outside. Do not go to school. Do not go to church, right? Now, Newsom comes out today, right? I think Amy sent me this. Newsom comes out today that you have to have a mask on in a restaurant and you have to take it on and off between bites. Did you see the numbers? 90, you can't see them on my screen. It's too white. 99% of the people. I'm exhausted. Kids, you exhausted? I'm exhausted. My son's sitting here watching the whole thing, which is odd. He usually walks away. Hey, Freddie, nice to see you. You're Persian, and you love the United States of America. I know you do. It really, I'm glad to have you on here, and I appreciate you being on. And I appreciate you pointing out the fact that you're Persian. No, we hate him because he is a racist narcissist. Do you see? Oh, thank God. I love it when I have people on here that actually prove my point. You got people that are morons, right? They hate them because he's a racist. He's the worst racist person we've ever seen, right? He's got pictures with him with, oh my gosh, Muhammad Ali and Rosa Parks, right? We pictures with them. He's got pictures with, what's his name, with the stupid hair, whatever that guy, the Reverend, whatever his name is, right? They used to love him. I forget their names. The Reverend guys, right? The morons, the idiots, those guys, right? They have pictures with him. Donald Trump's in a number of rap songs. The rappers love President Trump. He created 3 programs that benefit Black communities that nobody's ever thought of doing before and never got done before. And he's been able to do that. He has more round tables with the Black community than any president I've ever seen. He has more people from the Black community coming over to the Republican Party because of who he is and who he has on there. And yet here you have somebody, a dipwit, who is just a moron, and proves my point. Right? This is the type of people that we're dealing with. That he's a narcissist, a racist narcissist. That's really hard to say. And I'm spitting all over my screen when I say racist narcissist. please do not you give me those words to say, but a racist narcissist. No, he's amazing. He's incredible. He deserves to be a little narcissistic if he is. I don't know that he is. He has to be able to tell you what he's done because nobody else will. There's no media telling you that he's won 3 Nobel Peace Prizes, right? There's no media telling you. We know it, but he has to tell us. Kayleigh McEnany has to tell us. Mike Pompeo has to tell us. Whoever, because the media won't tell us. And so because he has to say, hey, did you hear? I got nominated for 3 Nobel Peace Prizes. Oh, you're a narcissist. Well, what do you want me to do? Nobody's telling. I mean, this is really important. You should know the voting public in the United States of America, what the rest of the world knows, and that I got nominated for 3 Nobel Peace Prize. That I am getting peace in the Middle East because nobody's going to tell you. So when he does that, now he's a racist narcissist. It is fantastic. Quit stretching, dude. I'm stretching? Stretching. That kind of stretching. Is that what he's talking about? I'm not. Oh, stretching words. I'm not. I'm telling you the truth. I showed you the truth. I showed you the fact. Conspiracy theory or actual conspiracy. How many coincidences must there be before it becomes mathematically impossible? Absolutely. I wish I would have thought of that too, Amy. Gosh darn you people. The women are the most smartest people. You and 34 other people believe what you're saying. Well, 34 people are watching my thing right now, my Facebook Live. So it's just us. I have everybody in the United States who believes here. And that is awesome. I love the 34 friends that I have that believe this. That is spectacular. That was Hitler's quote. If you tell a lie long enough, people will believe it. It's true. Absolutely. God is protecting him. I think so too. I do believe that now. Again, it is incredible what he's been able to put up with. Again, the fact that you have an entire government and the U.S. government is not a weak government. It's been weakened by Obama and it's been weakened by some of the morons that we have that are in there. Who's tickling my foot? But yeah, there's a lot of people that at least they had some intelligence in some way. Ray, you're hitting my camera. And those people that had some brains, all their brain power together, including the little pea brain that Hillary obviously has and some other people, all of them combined, including Obama and Biden, could not keep him from being elected. And then could not bring him down during his presidency. And they tried to impeach him. They tried to do all kinds of stuff. They investigate him, spent $34 million, have everybody look into every nook and cranny of the Trump empire, every nook and cranny. And yet they found nothing to bring him down. They can't say that about who could go through that kind of scrutiny. I don't know hardly any people. I couldn't. I couldn't. It is. A guy that owns as many businesses, some of them being casinos, right? Some of his jobs have gone badly. Some of his programs have gone badly. That happens in business, and you just really got to think about this, right? You have an entire, all these agencies. You have the leaders of the United States. These are leaders of the United States of America: President, Vice President, Secretary of State, right? You have these people and their agencies all trying to bring down one man, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. And me and my 34 people that apparently that believe me and believe what I'm saying, you really have to look at that one thing, that you have a guy that survived all of that. There was nothing. That is incredible and pretty amazing. There's nobody in the Senate. There's nobody in the Congress that could go through what he went through as far as investigations and all the shenanigans that went on and spying. And one last thing, I'm going to hit this one last thing. Mark K brought this up today, and I thought it was fantastic, and I'm sure somebody else did too, is that when you look at a man and you see his children, like Donald Trump's children, the children and the people that his children have married, right? And I'm talking about just directly, right? His children and the children that his children have married, all are campaigning for Donald Trump. They all have great things to say. When they get interviewed, they love the man. They think he's one of the most fantastic people in the world. They all say, "I just talked to my dad today." And then you talk to, Donald Trump Jr., you talk to Eric, you talk to whoever you're talking to, and all of them say, at some point say, yeah, when I was talking to him today, they talk to their dad every day. The word is that if they call, he will stop a meeting to talk to one of his children. And when you look at that, right, when you look at that, there's got to be something said about a man whose children love him so much and respect him so much that they stick their necks out for him, right? They go out and they speak for him. They do all kinds of television and radio. They go out there and hold rallies for him. They do podcasts. They do rallies, on their own for him and that kind of stuff. And that is one thing. Now you look on their side, look for Biden. Like, have you seen Hunter? Who is out there for Biden doing anything for him? You got his stupid wife who should be arrested for elder abuse, right? That's the only thing that she needs to be done. She needs to be arrested for elder abuse. She's the only one. Who else is out there? Do you see Hunter out there doing radio spots? Do you see him out there campaigning? Do you see him out there handing out flyers door to door? Where is Hunter doing any of that for his dad? Is there anybody in Biden's family besides his wife doing anything for him? There's nobody. Nobody likes Biden. Biden doesn't even like Biden. I would guess that Jill doesn't like Biden. That she just wants to be first lady is what I'm guessing. I don't know what the heck is going on. It is really crazy. Let me read what Freddie has to say here. The freaking problem here is that our criteria have changed so much that at any point, all of us are racist, homophobes, pedophiles, narcissists, and whatever you want to call it. We have gotten so emotionally weak. Oh my gosh, Freddie, absolutely. We've got so emotionally weak that anything and everything hurts. And effing feelings. So with that said, who is perfect? Raise your effing hand. Thank you, Freddie. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, you are so correct. Hey, Valerie, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Yes, Trump, you and the 34 of us against the world. Absolutely. That is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. There were more than 34 people at the Yorba Linda little shenanigans that we had the other day. There were more than 40 people on the boats in Florida during the flotilla. There were more than 40 people, and where did I see the other day? Oh, around the hospital, right, at Walter Reed. Right? How many? There were more than 34 people at Walter Reed. I don't know where he got it, the 30. See, they come up with these numbers. It's like when Biden the other day said, 100 million people are going to lose their Obamacare if they don't allow for pre-existing conditions. And yet only 115,000 people signed up who have pre-existing conditions. So you're trying to figure out, like, where does he come up with these numbers? There's no way that you could get to 100 million out of 115,000. Only 115,000 people signed up with pre-existing conditions for Obamacare. How are 100 million people are going to lose their medical with Obamacare that have pre-existing conditions? And none of that adds up, right? That's pretty easy. Even I can do that math, and I'm not good at math. My children will tell you I'm not good at math. And then he said, what did he say the other day? He said that 200 million people will die by the time he's done with the speech of COVID-19. So they come up with these numbers, and the 34 people, I'm pretty sure there's more than 34 people. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that there's more than 34 people that are rooting for Trump. Well, then it took 34 of us to get him elected. And we got this election too. Yeah, if we get 35, we're in. We're in for that in the landslide. If we can get 35, bam, he's president again. Where's Hunter? And where's Fauci? Fauci's an idiot. I can't stand that bastard. All right. Yes, Trump. Yes. All right, my friends. So I'm glad I could get on today. Kids have been keeping me pretty busy these days, and so I'm going to blame it on them for not being able to come on as often as possible. And I am Baseo. Go and get my CBD. Today's CBD oil. Today's Happy Coffee. Make sure and get some of that. And today's Baseo.com. Today's Baseo.com. All right, my friends. I love you. And God bless the family of Eddie Van Halen. Just so sad to hear that he passed. One of the greatest guitarists that ever lived. Just fantastic. And again, he may have been the number one guitarist. I know there's controversy whether he's the best guitarist ever, but he's if he's not, then I'm surprised that he's not. But what can you do? Just sorry that he passed, and that I just think of Van Halen. All I think about is high school. High school it was filled with the songs of Van Halen, Ugh, just so sad. All right, my friends, I love you. God bless you, and God bless President Trump and the United States of America. Take care.